Hello, you guys, and welcome to the February 2018 budget. My husband and I are wanting to pay our house off, and we officially started getting down and dirty with it in January. So, I wanted to go over what our February budget looks like and just what we're spending our money on. So, after talking with my husband about creating these budget videos since we're officially married as of, I guess, almost 2 years ago, but this is the first budget video I've done with our combined income, and he feels more comfortable with displaying what our full income looks like instead of our different categories. So we're just going to be showing our monthly income here. It's not going to be broken down of where it comes from, but he feels totally fine with showing where we spend our money in those categories. So our projected income for February is $6,375. That does include a potential rollover from January. So that income number will change. And I'm also self-employed too, so that number could change anyways. So this is just a good idea of what is coming up from the appointments that I already have on the books, and then the projected income from my little beauty counter side hustle. So we already have a fully funded 6-month emergency fund, but we don't do sinking funds. We just throw some money into our quote unquote emergency fund every month because this year we are looking at getting a new mattress later in the year, and then we are also looking at getting a new couch and love seat. And my husband's commuter car for work, because right now, with where he's working in his apprenticeship program, he is working about an hour from home. So he drives a 98 Honda Civic, which has like 285,000 miles on it. So he is trying really, really hard to get it above and beyond 300,000. But in case we need to find him a new car later on in the year, or maybe next year, we want to have money set aside in our emergency fund to where we can just spend a few $1,000s on the car and not have to dip below our 6-month total. So we are putting $600 into our emergency fund in February, and we are paying an extra, hopefully, $1,600 toward our mortgage principal. So I like splitting it up into these extra categories, like having the extra mortgage payment as a separate category, because I really, really like coming over to the right side and seeing the budget breakdown and the percentages. That's really helpful for me. And then I switch these sections up for housing and our fixed living expenses. So we can't really get rid of these bills. They're pretty much a requirement for having a house and living. So our mortgage payment actually went down because they were putting too much money into our escrow account. So you'll see a difference between the March mortgage payment and then what we paid in February. So it went down about $35 or $40. So our monthly mortgage, taxes, insurance payment went down. So that's $1,234. We have our water bill, our PGE is our electrical. We don't have gas out here where we live. Reliance Connects is our internet and cable. This is actually going to be going down. So we actually got rid of our cable in January. We went ahead and just decided we didn't need it. So February is going to be a prorated bill. So I'm not exactly sure what that bill is going to be. They couldn't tell me when I went into their office. So our bill for March that's due is going to be around $80 or $90 just for internet, and I think they require us to have a landline too, so it includes that also. So you will see that Reliance Connects bill go down at the end of February. Walker Garbage down here is our garbage company. We pay them bi-monthly, $42, so we don't have to pay them in February because we paid them in January. Transportation for gas, $3.40. Gas is kind of hard for us to budget, and it will fluctuate a lot just depending on where my husband's job site is for that week. Right now, he's been at the same job for 6 weeks, but that could kind of change. So I'd say on average we spend between $3.60 and $3.20 a month on gas. Car maintenance, we are just going to start implementing the cash envelope system again because as you can see up here, like these are transactions that I still need to allocate for January, and I feel like these bubbles take a few days to pop up, and I feel like I just get behind in the budget, and I don't like having all of these little transactions sitting here, and I hate looking at the bank account when there's just multiple pending transactions. So for February, we are reutilizing the cash envelopes. So when I take money out of the bank to stuff this envelope, I will just put that I spent $400, but we'll have the cash in the house. And then this is going to become more of like a sinking fund envelope. So whenever my husband needs to go grab some oil or some parts, we'll have that to pull from. And then these are our monthly living expenses. I like having the gas and car stuff here separate. It just seems a little bit better for me. So monthly bills and just general like living expenses. So I need to check with my husband to see if he's up on his union dues. I'm not sure. So that's why that's a 0. And that's why I left $72 left in the budget. I didn't allocate that. Netflix, $10.99, State Farm, car insurance. It's usually about $3.25. I feel like it fluctuates sometimes based on taxes maybe. So yeah, there's that. So CrossFit, I do CrossFit. The monthly membership fee is $135, and then I am participating in it's like an extra macros training program, which is $39.95 a month. So that should actually be like, if we want to be super specific. There we go. AT&T phone bill. I dropped our data down last month, so I think that this is probably actually going to be $180. I don't really know what my bill is because as of right now I still have 3 days left on my current cycle. Coda and Cassie, that's our dog and cat, we got them food in January, so they should be good through March, but this is just in case. Cassie is definitely going to need litter. You know what? This should probably be a cash envelope also. All right, groceries. So we always go over on our groceries, and I am the kind of person that I feel okay with spending more on groceries because I prefer to eat higher quality food, and I don't like eating the same thing all the time. So when I just say higher quality food, I'm just saying like there's particular produces that I buy that are organic. We do get a half cow beef share every year in the fall, so we're actually good on our beef. We have an entire freezer full, but I prefer to purchase free range chicken, whether that's the meat or the eggs. And then I tend to eat grain-free, so if I am splurging on just like novelty things like grain-free chips or the Siete grain-free tortillas, like that stuff is expensive. And then I also try to do organic grass-fed dairy whenever possible. So we end up spending more money on groceries just because of the types of foods that we buy and that ultimately like just make me feel better with like my digestion and my energy. So that's just more important to me than saving a few extra $100 a month. But this $500 a month grocery bill is kind of lower than what we usually do. I think we usually do about 600 or 650, but I figured since February is just a smidge of a shorter month and I just went grocery shopping a few days ago, I think that if I can be more intentional and plan better with our meals, then I think that we can keep it at about 500. So this is going to be kind of a challenge for me this month. Fun projects and travel. So fun money, my husband wants to go snowshoeing again in February. So that is about $30, $35 for us to do because we have to buy our snow park pass and then we have to rent the snowshoes. Personal money, my husband feels like he needs $60 a week for coffee. And every once in a while, he will go out to lunch with the guys on the crew. And I just want us to have enough money every week to have a little bit of freedom, but also just to like stockpile and save money. So if he needs like a new pair of jeans or whatever, he spends his money on. And then same with me, like I want to be able to slowly save up money so that if I need like some clothing or I need to replenish my makeup or something like that, like I will just have a cash envelope full of the stuff and the money so that I can get the stuff that I want. So home projects. So spring's coming. We moved into our house a year and a half ago and we did a lot of like the big landscaping projects last year. We did a lot of excavation. So our yard is like bare bones. So I have a lot of plants that I need to buy and I've become slightly obsessed with it. So I don't think that we have a ton of expensive projects, but I want to start a cash envelope that will have money in it so that when March and April come, I have some extra money to spend when I go to the home and garden store. So we're going to start that. Travel, cash for March. So we're not really doing any traveling in February. We might go see my grandma. She's like 3 hours away, but we're trying to figure out a date that will work for that. But in March, we are going to the SMART conference that is in Seattle. I think that's March 7th. So we're going there. That ticket and the hotel stay has already been paid for. And then so that's in Seattle. And then we are going up to the San Juan Islands. We're staying on Orcas Island for 3 nights. So the hotel for that is already paid for Orcas Island also. And I just wanted to have some cash saved up for doing some eating out and then paying for our ferry ride. And then for March, when we get to the islands, we'll just cash flow that for March. We'll put that in the budget. But I just wanted to have a little bit of a fund already started. So eating out, this is going to be a cash envelope also. So this is eating out like together if we're going out to dinner or stopping at lunch somewhere. So I'm putting $60 in that because we are planning on going out to lunch with my husband's mom and his grandparents. So that's just that we could probably eat out twice a month with the $60 in there. And then honestly, that's it. We don't have any debt besides our mortgage, so that category is empty. So yeah, this is the February 2018 budget. In January, I looked at what we were able to pay towards our mortgage in total, like what went down to what came out from the balance from whatever it was at the end of December. And it was, let me look. It was not as much as I wanted it to be. So our mortgage reduction in January was $1,335. So from our standard payment right now, we are reducing our monthly mortgage by about $340 a month, just with our standard payment. So we'll be putting an extra $1,600 a month, which will reduce it down by almost $2,000 a month. And our mortgage balance as of right now is 186,582. So that's going to be under 184. That is so awesome. So that's our goal for the month. This is our projected budget for February, and check back in about 34-ish days, I guess. 31 days to see how the month played out. And if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more like this and get some notifications of my new videos, just hit that subscribe button. So thank you so much for watching. Leave any questions or comments that you have down below.